What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be checking out a weird little title that got brought up. It was recommended to me by Steam's algorithm because I play a lot of action RPGs. So I play a lot of Last Epoch, I play a lot of like Path of Exile, I play a lot of games like that. Diablo 4 I go through and I max out every single season, and I'm guessing that's why this game was recommended to me, because this game is actually kind of an interesting mashup of Dead Cells and like Diablo. That's what the game is actively going for. So in this title, you are a guy known as a successor. A successor is kind of like an undead super soldier that can't die. And so effectively what they've tried to do here is they've tried to marry together the ideas from something like Diablo with a game and the meta progression of something like Dead Cells or something like Rogue Legacy. And honestly, I've been really impressed by this title while I've been playing it. There's definitely been like some things. Is he going to blow up? I was going to say he kind of looked like he's going to blow up. I've been very impressed by this game and the quality that's gone into it so far. I've been playing it for about an hour and a half. Oh, we got a fun little elite right there. That's enjoyable. Okay, well, let's stay out of the way of whatever terrible thing is about to transpire here. I have a hard time seeing these little goo guys. Their little telegraphs can be like a nightmare to see. Just due to the fact that there's a lot of spell effects and things going on. But if after watching this you wanted to get this game for yourself, I got a link for you down below in the description. I do think this game is pretty cool. I do have some, like, reservations there that I'm going to have to bring up at the end of the... Oh my god, get off me, bro. He's sucking my blood. Get off me. Oh my god. All right, let me health potion back up real quick. That guy's got some kind of shield. I have no idea what that's going to do here. That guy just jumped off the cliff. Of course. I don't know where he's at because you can't look up and down in this game with the right stick, which has been like an industry standard in Vanias since like the dawn of time. I don't know why it's done like... Let me put my little shield on right here so that I'm getting some supplementary... Oh, he's electrocuted. Nice. Let's keep going. But yeah, a lot of interesting ideas here. The basic format of the game, if you wanted to check it out for yourself, link down below, of course, along with links to all my other associated stuff like Twitch and Twitter and Patreon and all that kind of stuff. Effectively, this game is Rogue Legacy, if Rogue Legacy was an action RPG. You go out into a world, you start at the beginning near like a castle, and when you die, you go back to the castle, and you go as far as you possibly can until you die, and along the way, you're going to level up Diablo style, which is going to give you access to this skill tree over here, where you can get different abilities to make yourself more customized, more defensible, more offensive. It really depends on how you want to play the game personally, but they've got this skill tree over here where you can specialize your attacks in like ice and lightning and thunder and all that kind of stuff. You can shoot fireballs. You can make it so that lightning arcs out of your butt cheeks. Whatever it is that you want your character to do, you can fool around with inside of there. And then, of course, you've also got all this equipment over here. So where does the equipment come in? Well, the game's meta progression is your equipment. Every time you die, you go back to level 1, and you've got to re-level from the beginning all over again from the top, but you keep every single piece of equipment that you got. And if you've ever played an action RPG like Diablo or, you know, Last Epoch or Path of Exile or Loki or really any action RPG out there, you'll know that gear is very powerful. And that's kind of an interesting swap to what a lot of the other roguelites in the genre are actively doing. I can get an artifact or I can get a currency. Along the way, you'll also be able to customize your character in more interesting ways. So, for example, you get artifacts. With these artifacts right here, they not only give you a bonus, they also give you an aspect, and if you stack up enough of those aspects, you get additive bonuses on top of there. There's also runes and things that you can have inside your inventory that will allow you to upgrade. I haven't even gotten to whatever these little interior guys are right here. I'm guessing that's where more relics go. And then you've also got essences over here, which are big boons that you get by getting to certain checkpoints. So, for example, I've increased my potion carrying capacity by 2 because I suck at video games. That thus necessitates that I'm going to be drinking a lot of healing potions. God, I hope they're like menthol cherry flavored or something. I don't really know what to do with it, but these guys right here are your artifacts. They give you some kind of bonus. So this one right here gives me 10% more gold. It gives me more crit chance, and then it gives me a gold aspect and a dagger aspect. If we stack those up interesting things will happen, and you can see them listed over on this side. For right now, I have Merchant, which means that I get gold whenever I pass a screen. If I can get Assassination up to level 3, that would be absolutely incredible, because 15% critical chance would be great. So if anything in here has Assassination on it, I would take that. Increase your magic attack by 10%. Attacking enemies in the jolted state has a 30% chance to critically strike for 5 seconds. I do jolt enemies, so I'm going to take the Hunter's Feather real fast, because I think that's probably what's going to add to my build the best. And then we got 450 gold for passing the stage right there. The stages themselves are pretty simple. I don't think they're not as intricate as something you're going to find in something like Castlevania Symphony of the Night. They are not going to be as intricate as something you would find in Blasphemous. These are very much procedural levels. It's mostly bare basic, bare bones platforming, jumping around. I haven't seen any puzzles or anything else like that, but honestly, I'm fairly thankful for that. Largely due to the fact that this is supposed to be an action RPG. It's a game about clearing out enormous screens of enemies and wiping them out with AoEs and getting tons of XP and loot, and I do think that that would oh my god, okay, I've never seen that mod before. It looks like we've got some kind of creature over here who's an elite. This game does incorporate the elites that you've seen in something like Diablo 3, where they've got stuff like ice mines, they've got little projectiles and things they can fire at you. Wow, dude, I am getting whooped right now. The worst part is I don't even know what I'm getting whooped by. Oh my god. Okay, well, I got a hand axe right there, but we got no HP left. If I get hit like one more time, we're going to have what is colloquially known as Bad Monday. Now, all Mondays are kind of vaguely bad. Oh, it's why there's 2 elites. Gotcha. That actually kind of makes sense. Let me get that running. Let me get that. Nope, I knew it, dude. Something that was like reflecting damage or something. He had some kind of thorns or something. I think he had like a fire shield on him so that every time I hit him, I take damage. I was noticing that I was taking ticks of damage every time that I hit him. But that's fine, because this allows me to show you the town and go back to the vendors and all that kind of stuff. This is definitely a game that is progression gated. Until you get like certain qualities of gear, you aren't really going to go too much further. That gives me 6 magical attack right there. That's better than what I have, and it looks like it gives me cold damage. Okay, if we cast Cold Amplification, an Icy Blade appears that deals 60 magical damage per second. That does sound pretty spicy. I've also got some gloves over here. Do I have any weapons that hit a little bit harder? I would like to hit a little bit harder. Your weapon doesn't change on your character. He's always swinging a sword no matter what you do from what I've seen so far. I've tried out daggers, axes, clubs, swords, scimitars. You get the exact same attack animation. This is one area where I think the game probably falls behind something like Dead Cells, because Dead Cells gives you completely different combos and completely different attacks for each weapon that you equip. Conversation's done. So inside of town, you've got a stash where you can put stuff. You can gamble just like you can in Diablo, if that's the kind of thing that excites you. It cost me 120 of those to gamble on helmets. Let's see what we get out. We got a couple of yellow helmets right there. What do those have? 11 max resources, resource restoration on kill. Physical damage, poison resistance. I'll take the physical damage and the poison resistance. What else can I gamble on here? I think I need a new armor too, so if I can get a nicer armor out of here, I'd be kind of excited about that. Unfortunately, we struck out big time on that Gamba, so it kind of is what it is. 4% dodge chance and lightning resistance. We did lose a little bit of armor there, which means we're going to get scuffed a little bit harder when we get smacked by enemies. This lady allows you to spend your crystals that you got on your last run to get powerful, long-lasting buffs that will help you out through the game. This guy I can't interact with yet, but I'm guessing there's some kind of gemstone or rune system in the game because I need to go do his quest first before it unlocks, but I haven't gotten there. If you want to sell your stuff, you can do that over here. A quick notice, though, for any prospective buyers, you will need to play this game with a controller. If you don't have a controller, I would not bother purchasing this game because the actual PC controls are 100% abysmal. They've got right hand on arrow keys, left hand on like spacebar, X, C. It's a terrible control method. What they need to do is swap that over to WASD with attack on left click, one of your abilities on right click, jump on spacebar, dodge on like shift, and then Q, E, and then like F for like your little abilities and things that you can fire off. So I would not purchase this game if you don't own a controller that you can plug into your computer. They are open to community feedback. They added key binding to the keyboard there on the request. of the community. They wanted to re-keybind all the stuff that they could do on the mouse and keyboard. Unfortunately, you can only keybind the keyboard. You cannot keybind the mouse, which means that for me personally, when I'm playing a game like this, on the PC, I prefer to have things in a very specific way with my attack on left click and oh god, that was a close one right there. I prefer to have my attack on left click. I prefer to have my block on like right click. I'm very, very specific about that, and I don't really budge on it. So until they allow you, shot me in my ass cheek with an arrow, you little turd. You little undead menace. Until they get that on in there, this game is going to remain fairly unplayable with PC controls. Some people have mentioned that it is approved for the Steam Deck. However, some people on the forums have been complaining about it crashing a lot on Steam Deck, so I don't know how active that support actually is. For right now, we're going back from the beginning. We're going to cleave up some enemies. Everything about the combat, in my opinion, feels really good. They do allow you to animation break and dash out of your attacks so long as it's at a certain point. There are some frames that won't let you out of them, but you're just going to have to memorize the frames in the attack animation where that is, and that mostly comes down to like a tactile feel. We can get currency over here. We can get a gem. Let's get a gem. What kind of gems do we have? Strength up by 12, basic skills up by 20%, 2 free skill points. Let's go for increased strength. That sounds good because that's going to bump our strength up a little bit. I don't know if I can mouse over this to see what it does. Yeah, there's no pop-up right there. They will want to get that in there. We can get it by opening up a tab, so it looks like it increases our physical attack by 50% of our strength, and our armor goes up when we're in there. From what I can tell, it looks to me like the skill system is heavily blueprinted off of something like Diablo 4, which I'm an avid player of. I think that the most recent season basically fixed everything wrong with the game. It was a bad action RPG. Now it's actually a pretty decent action RPG that's fairly enjoyable to play. Yeah, shoot your arrow at me and I'll jump on up here. But as I was saying, everything about the combat thus far feels really good. From the sound design, to the animation design, to the attacks, to the hitboxes, everything feels really on point to me, and I haven't had too many... Okay, I don't want to be up there. Never mind, I take it back. There's a giant wolf up there. He's going to try to do something mangy right there. I know it, dude. He's got that mangy, wily look to him. He looks like the wolf from Lambert and the Sheepish Lion, dude. He's all like slithery and lithe. You guys, is Lambert the Sheepish Lion a thing that people have seen at this point in human history? Lambert the Sheepish Lion is a really, 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 really old Disney cartoon. It's got a little song like Lambert. You guys ever seen that? All right, never mind. Maybe it's just me. We got a reward chest over here or another soul gem. I will take a soul gem. That's 6 strength, 15 armor, or core skills. I'll keep stacking strength because that gives damage to everything physical, and that sounds all right to me. Get our treasure chest up here. Looks pretty good. We've got 1 bone key, so we can open this guy right here. That did give us a potion back, which is actually much more important than you would expect it to be. I go through a lot of potions in this game. We've also got some skill points that I need to spend, and honestly... I don't know if you guys do this. I do this a lot with video games, action RPGs specifically. I tend to let my skill points kind of pool up. I don't know. I do. And she's got some gloves over here with lightning resistance and physical damage. Mine's got max life and magical damage on it. I think I'm okay. Joanne, yeah, she's a character. Young, enthusiastic, curious, and always wanting to learn something. When she first joined us, she was a bit reluctant, to be honest, because when you look at the members of our order, it's not typical. We've got a Draken who retired from combat due to injury, a giant who can't speak, a weird shaman who sews things out of cloth. Joan came to the top because she trusted Logan, not because she trusted me. But Logan highly recommended her to me. Not that I needed anyone to nag me, but I owed him a favor. I took it as a way of returning the favor. This guy sells you food, so for 500 bucks we can get half of our life back and our critical damage will be up for 2 areas. I'll probably do that. That sounds alright. It's not that expensive. What's he got? He's got Kane's Pendulum. Crit chance, armor, grants you a random legendary artifact. Really? That's pretty good. Movement speed and refreshing the same vendor reduces the cost of the refresh by 80% till the end of the game. Amplifying Grimoire, your magic attack. I mean, it seems like a no-brainer. I want this guy. Let's get that. That sounds good. And then we've got Troll Blood over here. What does the Troll Blood do? Max life is up. Oh, I couldn't read it fast enough. Let's see. I mean, that gave us 2 stacks of Sturdy off the first pick, so that's pretty good. Basic skills that hit an enemy grant 35% increased armor. Okay. We've got Troll's Blood. When you take damage, there's a 15% chance to heal for 50 life every second over 3 seconds. That's huge, dude. That's massive. I'll absolutely take that. This guy allows you to buy abilities, but I'm poor right now, so unfortunately he's not going to be too much help. You get abilities from your skill tree, but you can also buy them from that guy without spending the skill point if you want. It's up to you. I haven't really done anything but put lightning on my sword so far and make it so that I debuff the enemy when I smack them. Let's continue on into the depths of the forest. One thing I don't know is there's a boss in here. I don't know if it's going to make me refight that boss or not. Like, do I have to fight a boss every time I go through, or is, like, the first clear good enough? I suppose we'll find out. This guy, he gives you one of those kind of assets that I was talking about. I forget what they're called. Essences. We can have 70 more life, and we can get our mana increased by 30. We can increase our potion carrying capacity. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I'd rather have the potion carrying capacity. 70% life is pretty spicy, but being able to heal myself is basically the same as getting 150 life, and out of this we would only be getting like 90, so that's how I balance it out in my head. Copper amulet right there. Go ahead and pick that on up, and now we're getting into the danger zone. He took a swipe at us, but he missed. This guy over here I'd like to light up as fast as possible. One thing they could do to make the looting feel better is that, like, in a game like this, the money should always collect, and then it should come to your character. It should go into your character, should make like a satisfying like ching 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 noise, or like a bloop 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 noise for like the little purple things. And then instead of the numbers at the bottom right iterating instantly on up to the new totaled value, they should tick upwards with a satisfying kind of like ticka 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 noise. That's one of those things that just makes a game feel utterly fantastic to play, and I highly recommend that like every game do that. I don't know if he's going to be able to take a swing at me. These guys are firing a lot of projectiles, though. It's becoming a little bit of a headache. We'll dodge around this guy, lock him down real quick. The ultimate goal of the game is just to clear every enemy on every map. That's pretty much it, and then occasionally they punctuate it with a boss. However, the bosses are... Ow, jumped right into it, dude. All right, well, let's get you first. I didn't know if I was going to make that dash. Whoa! Didn't know if I was going to make that dash, but I figured I'd go for it. What did I have to lose? And now the area's been completed. Reward chest. We can get an artifact or we can get a soul gem. Let's get a soul gem. Core skills up by 20%. Max resources increased by 20. Basic skills damage up by 20%. That's my hack and slash damage right there, so I'll go ahead and take that. We'll go over this way. We've got 2 skill points to play around with. I think I would like to pick up the chain lightning that arcs in between enemies. I think I would also like to get Lightning Frenzy. Yeah, we'll take Lightning Frenzy. Lightning Frenzy will be good. Lightning Frenzy's that guy right there. It's basically like a spammable attack that does like an arcing electricity thing that costs mana. This game is definitely a builder-spender action RPG if you don't know exactly what that means. It means that your left-click attacks basically build up mana, and then your right-click is your spenders. And that's pretty much it. That's how the entire game functions. The pixel art is really top-notch. The weight of the character feels dead on. Everything feels really, really, really good here. The main issue that I ran into, actually, is that I had a grip of trouble getting the game to actually work. It took me about 30 minutes before I started playing for an hour or so before recording this video to figure out that VSync was causing my game to crash over and over and over again. And so I had like this crash that was just over and over and over. Like I'd play for like 3 minutes and it would crash on me. Turns out I think it's either linked to VSync or it's linked to something. Oh, I'm dead here. Oh, you can potion out of CC. Well, that's nice. That's good to know. All right, well, let's stay on you. I think that little line right there is what froze me. Those elites, man, they are a nuisance. Can I not jump up right there? Okay, I can't jump up right there. Let's just finish off these little turds then. And then we'll go over here. Beat these nerds up. There it is. Drop them. Dude, our crit is really coming to task right now. We're hitting really, really, really hard when we crit. Like, when we get those crits off, like, it's stingy. The enemy don't like it none. We got another level up right there to spend too. Good stuff. Area's defeated. All right, so where do I want to go from here? I do like lightning amplification. It's pretty good, but it's on a long coolie, so I don't know if I want to run that just yet. Increases the chance of fast lightning caused by lightning frenzy to 35%. What do these do right here? Lightning Frenzy has an 80% chance to cause a fast lightning when it hits someone who's jolted. Lightning Frenzy deal 20% more damage to enemies that are jolted. Okay. Let's take that guy right there to increase our chance. I haven't really been using it, but I wasn't actually watching my mana either. Let's open this bad boy up. No loot, actually. Just a bunch of random little things. Soul Gem or currency? Soul Gem, please. We've got max life up by 15. We've got mastery skills up by that, and we've got a free skill point. I'll take the free skill point. Free skill point sounds good because that gets me to there, which gets me 20 more percent damage against anybody that's jolted, which I think is going to work out pretty well. All right, let's carry on forward and see we're at Longmore right now. Let's see if I can ace this boss. I've beaten him before, but, like, I don't know, dude. I'm not very good at anything 2D. I struggle with 2D games, all right? So the top head is up. It's going to summon ghosts. Those ghosts are going to try to harm us. Oh, or not. Does it randomize? Oh, it might randomize. Okay, last time I went, this head over here did the ground spikes. Okay, so that head is doing the ghost now. Gotcha. Oh, they can deal damage even... Okay, so this head is going to spawn the boils then? Oh, it's going to... Okay, yeah, that was horrifying. Hated that. Totally forgot about that attack. We going up here? All right, we got to watch out for the spikes that are going to come out of the ground. Okay, spikes are out of the ground. We're back on ghost mode. Get him with the big strike right there. We got to kill these blood blisters over here, too. Otherwise, they turn into mobs, and then this fight just gets entirely too chaotic. That right there is fine. Light those off. Back over here. I need those boils to go. There we go. Boils are down. Back up on this side. Get him with whatever we possibly can. I just like to stay on this top platform and jump over and over again against the spikes because their read is pretty quick for my old man reflexes. Yeah, we got ghosts. Out. Ate a ghost. Straight to the ween. He's going to do the spike thing, right? Oh, God. He swapped it up. Okay. I got to get some health back then. Huh. Well, I thought the different heads controlled different attacks, but I guess I was wrong about that. I swear to God, the last time I fought that guy, the right head was always the spikes, this head up here was always the ghost, and this head down here either tried to summon or it tried to slam me in between the two bone walls, but I guess I read that wrong. But as you can see, someone put a lot of care and effort into making this game look good and feel good. It is satisfying to play. It feels really, really nice, and I feel like I haven't gotten to endgame or anything, which I guess is the metric by which Diablo-style games are judged. But from what I've seen so far in the last hour and a half to 2 hours, I've been really happy with the game, actually. I haven't really hit anything so far that I was like, that's bullshit and I hate it. So there's a couple things that I'd like to see here. They went with high-quality pixel art sprites, so I doubt this one's gonna happen. But being able to see the differences in weapons and armor is a big deal to me. It'd be fantastic, but I understand why it probably wouldn't happen. But for an action RPG, I like to see the visual progression of my character getting more powerful and more epic. I doubt it will work due to the sprites just being too complex and already being locked into the game's development cycle. But what they could do then is they could make your character kind of visually upgrade every 10 levels or so based on the elements or whatever that you've picked, changing the color of your character's shirt, giving him shoulder pads that like set off little lightning statics and things, or like a cape that is on fire, you know, if you're a fire build. Things like that so that you can differentiate characters from one another on different runs would all be really, really cool. From there, though, there's no way to look up and down from the platform that you're actively standing on. That needs to be fixed ASAP. That's just Metroidvania 101. If you're going to make a 2D Metroidvania-inspired anything, the player needs to be able to look up and look down to figure out what they're dropping down to or jumping up to, and that's not in the game right now for some shocking reason. I also had to troubleshoot the game for 25 minutes before it would actively work. The game crashed on me every 2 to 3 minutes until I figured out the VSync was what was causing it to crash. So if you get a lot of tearing, you may or may not be able to use the VSync. I couldn't use the VSync, so I'm just playing with tearing right now because tearing doesn't show up in YouTube videos. It only shows up on my monitor because the OBS grabs the raw video input, and so like it should be fine for me, but it may not be fine for you. Readability of enemy telegraphs can be very, very difficult with the volume of spell effects that are going off on screen. I don't know how you fix this, but once you get to a certain level, there are a lot of spell effects flying around that 100% obfuscate that critical read off of an enemy, and you will eat that and get splatted. And since the game is Dead Cells inspired, where an average hit can take off half of your health, that does need to be figured out, but I'm not going to be very helpful because I can't figure out exactly how you're going to make that work. It's going to be a toughie without getting rid of all of your spell effects or making the game look less visually awesome, so I don't know. Keyboard controls. That overhaul also needs to be a top priority here. There are loads of games to draw from inside this genre, so I'm not going to waste time talking about it. You released on PC. Give us working, acceptable PC controls. I shouldn't have to go to the living room, grab a controller off of my PlayStation or off of my Xbox, come back to the office just to play your game. Like, it should have acceptable PC controls, and they've already been done, thus showing that you can do this gameplay on PC by many, many, many other games, and so I'm not going to harp on it too much. Other things off the top of my head, there does seem to be a little bit of bumping elbows or like a little bit of clashing between the Souls-like elements of the game and also the action RPG elements of the game that I think they're going to have to get to the bottom of. But other than that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else off the top. Oh yeah, there's 2 more characters that you haven't seen in this video. I haven't got a chance to play them yet because I've been figuring out this guy to play competently enough to actually appraise the game and show you gameplay in a way that doesn't make me look like an absolute scrub. So anyways, there's more characters than what you're seeing right here. Other than that, though, this seems like a very promising action RPG. I like it a lot. It has nice weight. It has good impact. It's got some chunk to it. It's got good sound design. It's got really good hitboxes, really top-tier art, the likes of which you don't see out of games like Blasphemous, and so I'm utterly shocked that a tiny team that I've never heard of put this out as their first game because it's an absolute visual feast to look at, and the feel of the game is really good. So those are my thoughts. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we're playing around with a title called Dragon is Dead. Tomorrow, we'll be playing around with something else. Thank you for spending your time with me, and that's about all I got for you. Bye, folks.